believe you. That was the wackest. Yeah. How are you doing? Yes, you guys are welcome. Welcome to EBS. Today is I think the last time we had a panel talk was what? 2015. That means we haven't really spoken for a long time, yeah? With each other, sitting down and just not, just focusing on each other and listening to each other. Bear with me, this room, we've been getting booked since yesterday, this room, so this room has a crazy vibration. The heat in here is crazy, I know. But still, let's focus, because we have a lot of stuff to talk about. I will not be really leading this, but I want you guys to give my man Cash. Oh my God, I said Cash. Cash, and huge applause, man. He called me Crack. What? Yes. So today is. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit tired. If I mess up, hey, I'm standing here wearing Crocs, man. So believe me, it's not easy. But we are here to speak with each other. We are here to learn from each other. We are here to, focus on our movement. All right? So, I'll hand it over to you, bro. Do your thing.
All right, for sure.
Thank you. Your voice, bro.
What? Huh?
I saw those words.
I'm not doing it on purpose. Well, first of all, thank you so much for coming to the panel talk, and thank you, Wade, for giving me this opportunity to speak at EBS. It's been a dream of mine, all right? That's not... All right, but this is not about me. This is about Crump, and the topic, my bad, bro. And the topic about today is the future. What are the next steps? And that's why we invited this panel of amazing dancers, very influential people in our community. So please give a round of applause for this panel right here. And so my first question, I'm going to get straight to it, is how do you see Crump currently? And what's your opinion on the status as of right now? Wait, if you want to start, you have the mic.
Hey, man.
You got the mic in your hand, bro.
To me, I'm still finding it out, to be honest with you, after all these years. Thanks to the pandemic, it really, I had a conversation last night also about this. It really pushed us in a corner to view everything. I really took my time to watch almost every video. Well, I had 2 years. So I was on YouTube. I've never been so long on YouTube before, watching every footage that we didn't even drop yet, us as a movement. And I started to question a lot. I started really questioning a lot. Okay, why are we doing this? Has this become just a habit of just doing? What is the future of this? Because when you are in the race, it feels like a rat race. Okay, 1 year game, session, battles, call out, session, battles, session. It keeps going on and on and on and on. And I was like, damn. So, what is next? What is actually next? And it didn't really feel good. Like being a critic of myself first about what I was doing, and a critic of what we were doing collectively. And right now I'm trying to read personally like everybody's body language. How are we? Are we like in a distance? Are we coming close? What are we doing next? What can we put more into the soup? Like how can we make this? How can we cook this? to the next 10 years from now, you know, because 10 years from now, you know, hey,
You're not that old.
hey, I'm not that old, but 10 years from now, we should be seeing new faces, you know, and maybe it shouldn't be like the same old thing, or maybe it's gonna be the same old thing with a little twist. So me personally, I'm in the process of reading and just reading everybody.
All right. Yeah, let's go, Dominic.
Okay. For me, right now, the thing which really changes in Crumbs, which maybe missed the last years, and I think like the COVID thing helped to understand that, is the communication. The communication in between the culture, in between of different movements of different countries, and things like this panel right here, things like the level up bootcamp we had yesterday. It's not like always, okay, you come to the event, you battle, you get out, and you talk to nobody, you don't know new persons, new generations. Right now I feel like we change in more communication than before. I can talk about Germany, Europe and stuff, which I can witness here. And after COVID, I think like there's a big change in that, and things like this help a lot, because back in the days, like 10 years ago, when we sit on the same place here, I wish I had the chance to talk to certain people about their vision of Crump in their countries. And now, because of social media and all the events we have, we meet each other. Like I can talk to the OGs from France, Holland, Russia, wherever, Asia. So we can talk to each other and get tips from each other, how you can develop the movements, and how we can communicate to the next generation to have here. And like you said, in 10 years, we need a new generation who keeps this going. And that's like, I think this is where we at right now, that we start to communicate way more than we used to back in the years.
All right, thank you.
Yo, can I hold this like a rapper? Like, yo. So for me, I think like how I see Crump is in like an experimental phase for me right now.
Rex, if you could just hold the mic a little bit further down.
We cool?
Yes.
For me, Crump is in the experimental phase right now, and I feel like it's for the good and the bad, because I think that mindset of what's next, always like, are we just gonna keep Crump, or are we gonna keep sessioning, battling in the tournament and stuff like that? I feel like there's nothing wrong with the blueprint that Crump gave us, and I feel like the issue is people are trying to use that as of this is all you have right now, sessions, battles. I feel like people are trying to change the blueprint. That's like, there's nothing wrong with the blueprint. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. And I feel like the fact that people are like trying to say like, what's after all of that? It's like, why can't we just keep building within that? Because I feel like it's a decent blueprint that got all of us here today. There's nothing wrong with it. And I think because Crump, for me, for me, a lot of people, Crump is not enough for it. That's why people aren't even calling themselves Crumpers no more. They're calling themselves movement artists. It's a lot of Crumpers that say I'm a movement artist. And I feel like Crump, I feel like that's happening to the dance because being a Crumper is not okay for some people. And that's why they like, man, we gotta do more. We gotta add open styles to everything. We have to do this, because I feel like Crump isn't enough for a lot of people. So I feel like the experimenting phase for the good and bad is like, that's how I see it right now.
All right, that's a very interesting take. Thank you. Anybody else? No? Okay, now we'll just move on to the next question. Oh, Tamara, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm not gonna, repeat what has been said, but I would say, for me, it's an open question constantly, because the movement is still growing, is still young, So for me, I'm trying to see it as an outside eye and to see what Crump movement needs. And I feel like, well, there's a lot of different needs. It's not just only to build platforms for people to be having more opportunities to be professional in that field, but also to keep building this community. If I can take an example as Canada, we have still a small movement, so we need to keep that in mind to have like a I'm super tired. Future generation, so young people need to have an example and have platforms for them to be able to practice and express and learn. So for me, it's a big part of the questioning, constant questioning.
My voice kind of gone from the workshop. I'm gonna just speak like vaguely, cause but I think where we're at in the current state of Crump is just a good, like interesting current state. A lot of new people are coming in, which is amazing, and the emphasis on bringing up the new generation, and with that is also amazing. And more like rookie tournaments or rookie this, rookie that. Like when I was in the scene, it wasn't really that. It was just like battle and battle your way up and whatnot. And it was like confusing, like what's a rookie, what's a light, or what's a young hitter, heavy hitter, vet, OG. And then speaking of OGs, like a lot of OGs, not just in the USA, but around the world, are like coming back and like feeling comfortable in today's age as well. So I think that's really dope and beautiful as well. And speaking of platforms, there's a lot of platforms that can reach like different people into Crump. And for Crumpers to think bigger than the session battles, which again is not like a problem, but it's good that certain people in Crump would think that, like would try to do like business mindset or go to theater shows or try to reach out to sponsorships. So now like a lot of talks for like events, especially in the USA, about like sponsorships and grants and whatnot. In the USA, it's pretty hard to write grants for your events, but also I think we didn't really try like before. So now that conversation is opening up, yes, it's a bit hard to write grants and whatnot for your events, but at least it's a step forward. And like the skill part of Crump is amazing as well. There's a lot of resources and more chance to travel. Like they said, COVID did take a big hit, but it made people creative on how to keep creating with Crump, keep outreaching and connecting with people. So I just like to focus on the good and like where we're going, but right now it just feels like you can really choose like what you want to do. Do you want to uplift the next generation? Do you want to learn from the OGs and try to get all of their stories? Do you want to do the session battles, whatnot, or do you want to help the leaders if you're good at like writing grants or if you know someone that does that, you know what I mean? So I feel like the network has expanded from over the years of that. So like I said, it was just really vaguely speaking of just what's been going on, but I'm just excited for the future.
All right, so I'm gonna just hop on to the next question, which is gonna be as detailed as you can imagine it. What would be the steps necessary for the next 5 years for Crump to reach whatever goals each of you have in mind for Crump? Perfect.
What's up, y'all?
What up, News?
My name is Bad News, for those of y'all that don't know. The plan for the next 5 years, I think, is continuing to do something like this, but on a business level. Like trying to connect worldwide, more on a business level, supporting each other's events, more on a business level. Like really get to the top of the game by helping each other's countries out. I think that'll be something different. I think it'll be amazing. I think always inspiring the youth is one thing. I think that that's really important to include the youth. I think that's the only way that this is going to stay alive. Like we can learn, we can adapt, we can be the best, we can be the worst. Like, you can do everything you want in Crump, but at the end of the day, like, we gotta inspire the youth. Like, we gotta make every single person comfortable to be a part of this movement. And by having that addition in being able to do the business with one another, I think it'll open more doors, it'll open more options to say, hey, we want to do this, or hey, we want to do that. But I always go for starting with the youth, no matter what. Like, I think that's like the biggest inspiration, you know, to be able to work with kids, to be able to like have them understand that they can express themselves without having to say anything, because this is also a language, you know what I mean? So being able to cope with that sort of energy and being able to express yourself where no one has to understand, I think is one of the biggest things. So giving people comfort to do that would allow us to become a bigger situation in Crump. Like, the more people, the merrier, obviously, but definitely, you know, just like B said, like, if you know how to do something that can be an addition to the movement, you know, whether it's worldwide or in your own country, like, it's going to benefit all of us. It's not just going to benefit that specific country, you know, like, if you think, oh, you only have one crumper, two crumpers, or you're the only crumper there, like, we'll start off with kids, start inspiring and work your way up. You got to work your way from the ground up. It's not going to just pop up. And then from there, like, you can also start connecting with these countries that have that pathway and maybe give you an understanding of how you can grow your movement in your country. So I think even that information for the countries that don't have the level yet, or don't have as many, you know, kids or people crumping yet, I think that all connects. Like, we have to definitely inspire one another, and yeah, make sure that it connects also in business, because we gotta make money to survive, whether we like it or not. And we gotta, you know, make money and have money in order to throw these type of events and, you know, make those sort of moves. So yeah, that's my thought in detail. I hope it was detailed enough.
It sure was. Everybody's so hesitant. The question was as specific as you can get, steps for the next 5 years to make Crump what you have in mind for Crump. It's a very personal question, actually. No?
It's a personal, what I want in 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, I think this started with something within ourselves, but if this is a if, like, because I think if everybody could realize that we're all on the same team, I think like Crump could be something really, really, really big. Like, it's huge to me now, and I don't look at anything else bigger than Crump to me. But I know Crump can be bigger, but I feel like once we realize we're all on the same team, because we all think it's all different. We're all doing the dance, we're all putting in the same time, some of us a little more time, but it's that comparison thing. Like, comparison is a killer for creativity. Like, just comparing and this, when we're all doing the same dance. The more y'all show up to workshops, we teach workshops, that loop that keeps coming around, and without the whole comparison of, like, you know, these are like who's better and all that, I think, because for me, winning and losing does not exist no more. I feel like it's all perspective. I feel like it's about leaving your experience on the dance floor now. Then I feel like if more people, if we can get out of that bag of the comparison and all the extra stuff in it, I feel like we can be something like so great if we realize we all on the same team, we're rooting for the same dance. We want Crump to live on forever, like New said, with the youth and stuff, and we all want the same thing, because, like, my answer has that, but also everything New said too. So yeah.
Before you dunk on someone, just
I was lacking. There was too many
Yeah.
black people. I didn't like it.
anybody else want to share their thoughts on the future, next 5 years? then I'll move on. We've been talking about the youth a lot. It's something that we should definitely focus on. But apart from rookie tournaments and really reaching out to the youth, how do we prepare the next generation? Because all of us are getting older. Some of us have to shift priorities in life. Sometimes we have to step away from Crump for a longer period of time. So what would be the tools that we could give, the youth to, at the end of the day, in like the next, 15 years, to take, especially your guys' places?
Really short, work more with the mental stuff. I think what we have right now, we work a lot with the mental stuff, but I think the rookies and the new people who comes to the club world forgets people don't teach them. So the mental training. That's a good point.
All right. On this side, record, if you maybe could share your thoughts. So what could we give the youth to help them grow to take your place, for example, in France?
The culture. They have to learn from where they're from, really.
Okay.
From the beginning, who was there before them, who did what and everything else. And that stuff, maybe fundamental is a key, I think, for me. But to me, it's really know where you come from, to know where you go. To me, it's the key.
All right, that's perfect. Share your thoughts?
Yes, I do. I have a lot of thoughts. But concerning the children, the kids, the youth, even though we are still a youth,
Of course, man.
but concerning the youth under the youth,
Stop laughing.
I don't believe that we need to give them Crump history. I believe we need to give them an example of principle. It doesn't matter how much we crump. We can see that. What matters is like the character of the person who's crumping after a while. That's who they are watching on a consistent basis. Even though we do cool moves, they only watch the moves for a little bit until they start watching you. We don't have anything for the youth if we don't change. Are you going to give them your culture? Which doesn't work for everybody. But we are from different places, and Crump somehow, in a way, works for everybody. If it worked for you in the way it was presented, rough around the edges, and the characters of the people brought new people, it's not about the dance. There's no dancing we can do to guide the youth. If you can understand what I'm saying. We can dance, but that's not what does it. So I think it starts with the leaders of the now. If it doesn't happen here, it won't happen with the next generation. The next generation will be just as worse as we are. So all of these what ifs in 5 years, we don't know. What do we know? We have now. What is it like now? Because if it's not changing now, 5 years, we can't see. We can say good things about the next 5 years, but who knows? But we have today. So today, there's few people that can offer the youth any principle. Because some people are just dancing. So it's a decision that leaders, or so-called leaders, will have to make. What are you doing with your platform? What are you doing with your voice? Most of all, what are you doing with your character? That's what they see and follow. So if you see bad things in the next 5 years, it's because of you. If I saw bad things now, it's because of what we did. There's no point in blames. If the next 5 years is not in a better place, it is because of you. This is the price you pay for being in the front. So the youth have no hope if you don't take a step forward to better things and better thoughts. I'll leave it there.
All right. So my next question is going to change the topic a little bit. Everybody's okay, just tell me when you're done translating, and then I'll continue. I'm just joking. Anyway, yeah. So Crump has grown into many different directions. It's not just here at EBS or at France and Dillis. It's not just big competitions, championships. It has grown also in the commercial sense. A lot of dancers outside of Crump, or also non-dancers, experience Crump through concerts from the background dancers, through theater shows where they get involved. So it's a simple question. How do you think Crump should change or needs to change, if even, to fit in the theater or in different areas outside of what we know and love, which is sessions and battles? Or do you think we should keep the essence going? No?
I don't think we should change anything when it comes to that part. Because most of the people, of course, we can learn on top of what we have. You know, don't restrict yourself from learning. I mean, I'm talking to those people that are on stages and doing commercial work and everything. Keep what you already have. Keep your essence. You know, don't throw it away. But you know, learn on top. Learn on top of it. Learn how lights work. Where to stand when you are on stage, for example. You know, or whatever that you want to learn on top of what you already know. Learn on top of it, but don't throw it away or don't dilute it. You understand? Like, I'm not too and don't dilute it so people will like it how they want to see it. People love Crump how it is, like. So no, I don't think we should change anything crazy. You know, like just be just be solid. Just, you know, present whatever you have every time. You know, and just learn on top of it, but don't change it.
All right, thank you. The question was, since Crump is on a lot of different stages, do you feel like Crump needs to change for that, or do you feel like Crump needs to stay true to its roots?
What's up? Yeah, it should be stay true to itself, because Crump cannot lose the essence. And like Wave said, you should learn on top of that, that's for sure. But even if you want to put Crump on the commercial side, we also need to get treated as some of the other like actors or musicians, you know what I mean, or act or whatever. We should get like, don't outsell it, you know what I mean, because what you bring on stage is really something. It's not just like, you really bring art to the stage, you know. And in the commercial scene it's hard because some people still see like, oh, that's a new dance, you know, but it's still such a impactful dance, you know. And if you go to a commercial, like if you get booked, don't outsell yourself, you know, and yeah, that's it.
All right. Of course.
The word essence. I like this word because everybody speaks of essence. So I want to ask the leaders here, what is the essence of Crump? I need to know, what do you think? Any leader? Anybody with
For me, like my essence is from like my background, so that's where I say like where like because I'm more so speaking from like my crop, because I have no idea what anybody else has is coming from, so I can only speak from like myself, my essence. Okay.
Your essence, but the essence of crump. I'm just asking about crump. Everybody has their own individual, but this question is just the essence of crump itself.
What's up, everybody? It's me again. I think, like you said, I think crump fits differently for everyone. And I think with you being able to express and be who you truly are and understand how to speak from your soul, that's something I feel that crump teaches you. It's how to speak from your soul, from your experiences, and who you really are. I believe that that's one of the main essence in crump. If you can't understand who you are, your character, like that takes you into how you really walk in life. And some people just walk into crump as it's just a dance, and it's just a way of moving, but it's really how you move in life. So yeah, that's my opinion.
Anybody else? There's no wrong answers. I'm not putting you guys on trial. I just want to know what you think. Since we're not on Instagram, we can talk. English.
I think the essence of crump is the brotherhood.
Everybody.
I think the essence of crump is the brotherhood, the friendship, and also the sharing life experience, to teach each other how to step forward, what I'm saying? Because we need each other, because the culture without each other is gonna die, so that's why crump, the essence is the brotherhood. It started with the brotherhood, and we should keep that. We should never forget about us, and also even reach the essence of crump is also like right now, it's getting so big right now, and we should keep that. So it's a brother left and right, and a sister left and right. That's the essence of crump for me,
For me, like, crump gives me or us, like, it's the biggest tool I can imagine to represent yourself. Because for me, no other dance style has this tool to get in your soul and get everything out without a mask, without acting different, like to pour yourself, express everything. And like Rowdy says, like the brotherhood with our fam system we have is like the thing we do already for the youth. We get the youth into our fams to build them up, not only in crump, but like to give them a vision where they can go with hard work, with lab, with learning what it means to have a fam, to have people around you, to care for the people around you. This is like something our culture has, our dance culture has, which has no other dance style. So this is for me like the essence of crump, the heart of crump. It's like, it's the same thing, the heart of crump, the essence of crump. You will find this, how we do it, nowhere else. And everybody who comes into this world will always say like nothing else is like crump. And this is for me like the heart of crump, because you can put your mask up and you can be yourself. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, you can be yourself and everybody will understand you. And the energy we have for this, it's pure street art for me. That's for me the essence of crump.
What I've come to find out, that every mind is a world. Every mind is some kind of movie. Every mind is a perspective. Every mind has also a domestication to it. So, therefore, we enter this with everything in our day-to-day lives, whether we want to showcase that or whether we want to break away or escape. A lot of those essences are put into the dance, into the body of work, from the mind to the body, and it's this ping-pong effect.
at every given turn. And we come to find that we're connected. A lot of us have a lot of similarities, although we're completely different. Everybody is unique, nobody is the same. Putting that into your dance, into your work ethic, seeing someone across from you or beside you, and sharing that commonality of body movement, mind movement, so on and so forth. Because we all believe in something, whether it's simple, like whether it's similar or whether it's different. This essence, for me, and from what I've seen from experience, not even just me, myself, from experience, I've come to find that this is what that is. Us sharing stories, us sharing a common point of energy, so on and so forth. You know, for me, because once again I said, every mind is a world. Whether you're in agreement or not, it's totally up to you. But yeah, this is, for me, like the essence of crime.
I feel like the word that's used for crump mostly is raw. So I feel like a really good description of crump essence is raw. And I feel like that's what we push for each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, who are you? Like, not the dance. Like, we just want to see you, you know, like, with all the basics and all the moves versus someone who's just really being themselves and expressing, you know, through music and movement. Yeah, just raw. And beyond that, it helps you discover who you are in the present and then even in the past, like, because you're opening yourself up in a raw way. Yeah, you get to discover like, who you are, who you've been. People can go deeper, like in the mental side, in the spiritual side. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people, like including myself, found God through a crump because again, like the practice of the essence of crump of just being raw and feeling like I need like help from a otherworldly, or I was getting help, or I couldn't explain how I did X, Y, and Z. You know. And it also helps you be a better version of yourself when you just expose yourself in this raw way. You know what I mean? Like that's why like grooves and all that is like easy, not easy, but what's tied into like the essence as well, because that's that feeling that people can see besides like some jabs or even certain moves. Like, so yeah, I just think just raw, like being raw. Crump is like the rawest dance style, I feel like in all of our opinions, and yeah, and that's just what the essence feels like for me.
It was nice to hear you guys hard about that topic. So I appreciate every answer. Short or long, I appreciate it. So I'm going to talk about essence from my perspective. Essence is different for everybody. I heard it makes you feel free. So the essence brought you to freedom. You can say the essence brought you to have confidence. The essence made you have family. The essence gave you money. The essence gave you opportunities. You know, you really don't know who you are. Just as your natural body changes, I believe your inside changes as well. I'm not the same person I was when I was 7. So who we are, it doesn't stay the same. But somehow crump can exist for a 7-year-old and a 70-year-old. So it's something deeper than age, ability. If you talk about essence, you talk about where does that come from and who is giving the family, because it's not us. We don't have the power. We don't even know what it's doing to our brother over here. We don't even know how you're taking that. We don't know how that's affecting you or impacting you, even though we're all being impacted. The same round makes everybody feel different. Like, what is that? Can you put a finger on that? Why do we come here? Why? That's the essence, right? Or that would be the essence. I don't always come to Crump because of family, because sometimes that's a little jacked up. I don't always come to Crump because I got money, because most of the time that's just not the case. Or we wouldn't have the fights that we have. It's not because I have no confidence. Some people are very cocky. So, from my point of view, this was given, right? It's not dance, it's not words, but it's something that happens that we don't know, but we know well. This is why, that thing that I don't know, but I know, I believe that's why we're here. So Crump stands for, from the source that I was given it, I'm telling you exactly what the essence is right now. This has nothing to do with opinion. This has nothing to do with perspective. This is what it is. Tested, tried, it works. Crump stands for Kingdom Radically Uplifted Mighty Praise. I'm telling you, this is what we come here for. It's just wrapped in moves. And it's wrapped in brotherhood, family, freedom, all of that. That comes from a source. We don't make that. We participate. We receive that, but we don't make it. So from the person, I'm the first person doing this. I'm telling you, it is more of a spiritual expression than anything else. I still don't know the full extent, but as far as what I've gotten out of my first day until now, it is a spiritual expression. And we can debate about whatever, but when you know, you know. It's praise. It's a release of whatever you got on the inside of you. It's a change of whoever you want to be. If you don't want to be this person, Crump can turn you from a low self-esteem, now you have confidence. We don't do that. If so, why do we get discouraged? Something we do turns it. That comes from the essence. We don't do that, we just participate. How do you get better? What makes you get off? Who determines that? Is it you? Is it the moment? Is it the hype? It must be something unknown like the essence. Yes, it's different interpreted by each person, each heart. But before there were hearts to receive Crump, from the first heart that received it, I'm telling you, it is. It's not, it makes, it is. This is what it is. If you want to get Crump, you have to get to what it is. It is a spiritual, a inward knowing. It is God. I'm sorry, but you want to know what it is? I am telling you from experience, this is what it is. I was the first one to receive it, so I can tell you. Thank God I'm here to tell you, so you don't have to be misled. How you seek that out, sometimes it might take you 20 years, so you might be in Crump for a long time, because it's not about dancing. You get better and you get better, but what are you chasing? The essence is calling you. You can't stop. Some people can, but they never truly leave it. Crump is not what we do. It's like, if it's who you are, I'm always dancing. I'm always Crump. It doesn't matter what I do. You don't have to come here and compete and be known to be Crump. If Crump is in your essence, like I am a professional whatever, I Crump, or I smoke, or I play ball. I Crump. That's who you are because of the essence. It's not where you do it at, and it's not even the status of it. These are just the cool things that we can do with it, but the essence is a spiritual expression that comes from God, people. That's what it is. If anybody has an opinion about that, you're gonna have to go see what it is. But I can tell you from my own personal experience, me being the first heart, that's what it is. So when you're looking for this essence to make you stick, to make you like it, to make you love it, to whatever you're looking for, it's that. You can learn all of these moves and you can take 200 workshops and never receive it. I've seen it happen. People have yet to receive what it is. They're very skilled in studying, but they still don't know what it is. Kingdom radically uplifted mighty praise. That release, it's coming from and coming to your maker. He's responsible for the brotherhood. He's responsible for this. Why we can come together in the first place. So that's what brought us here. And I want to keep it real clear about this, because this is non-negotiable. Nobody can change it until I am removed. If you don't like what that is, you don't really want Crump, therefore you won't be here for long. If you don't like what it is, so from what it is, you can know what it's not. So do not be deceived. If any leader, if any Crumper tells you that that's not what it is, they are lying to you. And do not follow them. All right.
All right, thank you.
What's up, y'all? See you again. All right,
All right, everybody simmer down.
I'm gonna let him try real quick.
Stay ready now.
All right. Well, originally, you were saying that you were giving your opinion, if I'm not mistaken, and then it went from your opinion to saying what it is, which I respect 100%. I respect 1,000%. I've been around Crump for a really long time myself. I'm not the first, but I am the first from my city. And I wasn't introduced into Crump spiritually. I come from a different situation. I come from, you know, a place where it was hard to even just walk to school. You know what I mean? And I needed a way out because I was so angry. I needed a way out because the first thing that I would resort to is violence. You know, the first thing that I started to do was pop. I was a popper for a few years, and then after popping, I started doing house for about a year, and then I started breakdancing, and then from breaking, I started clowning, and then from clowning, it started shifting, and I feel like I was one of the last that was actually dancing and clowning at the time, if I'm not mistaken, from that era. And I started to find Crump. You know, no disrespect whatsoever, but to me, I didn't see you as the greatest. I didn't see you as the one and only, the creator, the founder of Crump. I was inspired by many in Crump. In my generation, there was 5 fathers of Crump. And in my opinion, there was way more than that, because there was people that were just kicked to the curb and not included. I think Crump can be very spiritual. I think if that's something that is for you, please, by all means, take that road, because it's definitely an expression. It's definitely a beautiful thing if you can utilize it in that way. Some people, like he said, ain't there. Some people haven't found it yet, and I agree. I strongly agree. But I think you can use it in different ways. I don't think it only needs to be that. I think, you know, there's times where we do talk to God, we do speak to him as an individual, or some of us go to church, but I also believe that the people that aren't as spiritual should be kicked to the side. You know, I don't think that it should be closed doors, that it's not for you guys as well. I feel that it's for everyone, you know, I really do. It can be a beautiful thing in your self-expression, and yeah, like, I honestly think that that's a heavy opinion. I think it's grown into something else now, you know? It's grown into a lot, and I don't think it's just spiritual, you know? And that's just my opinion, and I do believe in God myself. I'm a spiritual person myself, but sometimes I separate it, and sometimes I'm in the room crumping with 3 of my friends and being very spiritual. But I don't think that door should be closed to anyone. If you haven't found it, then maybe yeah. But I think there's two doors necessarily where you can utilize it and you don't have to utilize it, you know? I don't think people are in a battle, you know, going up against each other in that sense because it's just a spiritual thing, you know? Like I think battles are something here, something the now, something that it can't be spiritual, but I think it can be something also just for us, just to release and have that self-expression, you know? So if you do believe in that, by all means, go for it. Like, I think, like I said, that's a beautiful thing, but I don't think it's just that. I think there's more, and I think that not everything in life is attached to that. You have your moments, you have your time, you know, and, you know, some of us, you know, do go to church every day. Some of us don't go to church at all, and if you do or you don't, I don't think that door should be closed on anyone, you know. So Crump has helped me in both ways. It's helped me spiritually, and there's times where I don't use it in a spiritual way, you know, and that's just my opinion.
Okay. Crump is not only used for spiritual, but that is the essence of it. But it's still sport, it's still session, it's still workshopped. So I'm just telling you one of. I'm not making the spiritual, it's not over everything, it's under everything. It's just an unseen thing. You can do whatever you want with that. But that's what it is. That's not all it can become. It has become different things for each person on this stage. But the true essence of it is that. But it doesn't only do that. This has turned into fans and all of this, which is, it's not spiritual stuff, but it is. But it comes from a loyalty. It comes from a brotherhood. That's why we fam up. So these spiritual unseen things are making the things like the battles, the fams, the EBS, the illest. It's making that stuff possible. So it's not an opinion because I didn't give records. This isn't about creator or greatest. This is about the first person who had it. This is the core of what it is. Once you find the core of what it is, everything else will become clear to you. I'm just trying to help you on your journey. A lot of people here are on a journey for Crow. And you have to take workshops, yes, you have to learn, but it's another part that you are going to have to experience. That's the part I'm talking about. Okay, I just wanted to clear that up so, you know, words don't get twisted.
All right, thank you so much. Those are some amazing insights, and that concludes this panel talk. Please give it up for our panel right here. Thank each and every one of you for the insights. It was a blessing listening to all of you. And right now, we have, how much time we still have?
Not much time.
Not much time. Okay, but right now, after this, we have the creative night. Yeah, so get ready for that. Get ready for some amazing pieces. All right, but first, maybe go grab some fresh air. Thank you.
Thank you. Please, if you are going to the creative night, please make sure that you go like that.